Hello and welcome. My name is Céline. And sadly, a couple of days ago, I woke up and I looked out the window and it was pouring rain. There was barely any light coming in. And that's when I knew that I had to film my autumn fall nitpicks. I always have trouble deciding whether I should say autumn or fall because I'm not British, I'm not American. I feel like my accent slightly steers more towards American, but then I live in the UK, so I don't know what I should go for. So please help me decide. Let me know what you think fits me best. Should I say autumn nitpicks or fall nitpicks? I had a great time with my summer knits this year. I feel like I kick-started my summer knitting with a really good piece that got me excited and enthusiastic for the whole thing. That enthusiasm, I feel like, lasted about a month. My heart started craving the knitting that I fell in love with. Cardigans and sweaters and chunky hats. The weather is getting worse, but the knitting gets better. So I'm beyond excited to share my selection with you today, which is comprised of some pieces that I actually own in my wardrobe that I've knitted myself, and then I'll head into patterns and designs that I found online that I'll be considering for this season. I'm also going to do the fun thing where I go through these stunning swatches that have been kindly gifted to me by Holst Garn. Listen, when I saw these, I died. Extremely inspiring. Don't you just want to make a scarf with these tassels? But yeah, I thought these would come in real handy, picking some shades and giving you guys some color inspiration. Let's see what we make out of this. The first piece has been a dream of mine for absolute ages, and this year it came true, and I made myself a luxurious cashmere cardigan. This is a heavily modified version of Petite Knits Maggie cardigan. I've dedicated an entire video to this where I showed you guys how I modify patterns, or at least how I modified this one. Cardigans are the perfect transitional piece because you obviously get the long sleeves, but then you have the option of opening it up if you're feeling a bit warmer, which is something you can't do with sweaters, which I think are more appropriate to winter weather. Cashmere is a warm fiber for sure, but for this piece specifically, I knitted it on quite a loose gauge, which means that this piece is way airier. So I used Cardiff Cashmere Classic. I'm not sure the exact gauge that they recommend. I'll put it on the screen, but either way, I knitted it looser to obtain a 19 stitch gauge. With this thin fabric, I really enjoy wearing a small tube top underneath with some spaghetti straps. It's the perfect weight for the season. In fact, I love this season because you can wear your knits without a coat on top. That's honestly just ideal. Obviously, not when it's raining. I would never wear this when it's raining because I'm not about to get acidic London rain on my Cardiff Cashmere cardigan. A few months ago, before I knit the cardigan, I made a chain scarf by Knitharina in the same shade of cashmere. So now I have a matching little set, which makes it so special. I just pop this on and then I'm golden. Fall is also the time to wear vests and slipovers. You can wear them with nothing underneath, with a short sleeve, with a long sleeve. The one I have is the typical mohair slipover by Typical Bliss. I only used some Noro yarn, and for a size small, I managed, like, desperately playing yarn chicken. I was actually felting my ends together to get the last bits of the cast off. But I managed to do it with one skein. Specifically in this colorway, it reminds me of a ski trip, which is more winter themed. So forget I said that. You cast on at the top of the back, knit a bit of that, and then pick up for the front of the shoulders. And once you reach armpit level on both panels, you join them in the round. And then you pick up for the edging. It's really fun. One of my favorite constructions. It's a worsted weight gauge, so it's such a quick knit. Next, I have something for the knitters that also crochet. So this is one that I was actually wearing in my first ever video back in January. So this is the Je ne sais quoi cardigan by Moonchain. It's got a crochet body, and then the sleeves are knitted. The cuff is also crocheted. I get a lot of compliments when I wear this one. I think it's quite special and unlike anything that you can find in the shops. It definitely doesn't look store-bought, so it stands out. It's very cute. Cottagecore. I love the mix of knitting and crochet. That's very special and unique. There are not a lot of patterns that do that. In fact, I should probably see if I can come up with a crochet knitting pattern because I would Love it so much. I used Drops yarns for this. This was like their tweed and then 2 strands of their brushed alpaca silk. I love the scalloped edge, the little tie closure. It's so cute. And by the way, all the patterns that I'm talking about will be linked in the description in case you'd like to check them out. Just quickly, I wanted to show you a pattern that I'd like to release this autumn, and it's my unnamed humongous wrap cardigan. I still have to perfect some bits and then write the pattern and then get it tested and find a name for it. I don't know what I should call it, so I appreciate any suggestions in the comments. Also, let me know if you'd like to test this. Usually I put a testing application form on my Instagram, so make sure you follow me on there if you're interested in partaking in the testing. I think this is such a good autumnal piece. It feels like something you would wear after a long day of work. You just come back home and then you cozy up in your bed with this on. It's just like a big blanket, you know? I made this with 5 strands of mohair, but I want to write the pattern so that you can choose how many strands you hold together. You can even hold one, which will obviously produce a quite different cardigan from this, but I think it's really cool to have the option. But this is a really good piece to just use scrap mohair that you may have, or really, as long as you hit gauge, you can use whatever material you want. So I guess this is just a note to self to get on with it and make this pattern. All right, so those were all the knits that I have made myself that I wanted to share. Now let's head on to the designs that I found online that have been very inspirational and that I'll be considering for this fall. So the first one is Ullen Knitwear's Dew Set. When I think of autumn, I think of coziness. And I think coziness is exactly what the Dew Set embodies. So this is a 2-in-1 pattern. It has the dew top and the dew shorts. I think she uses cashmere, but there are many, many other fibers that can mimic the softness and coziness of cashmere, namely the Hey Mama Wolf Mokosh, which is actually the softest wool native to Europe. It's so soft. I've touched it. This rare sheep breed hails from southern France, and due to the high crimp of its fleece, yarn spun from this wool has pockets of trapped air, providing insulation and resulting in warmer garments. Yum! So that would be perfect for that. I also love alpaca. I'm not very sensitive, so unfortunately I don't have a very good scratchy sensitive skin meter, but for me alpaca is super, super soft. There is an alpaca in this stack. Let's look for it. We have the Holstgarn Titicaca, which is 100% pure thin alpaca. You may need to hold this double for the specific pattern. Love the stonewash, which is this. Ooh, this one's the softest because it's 70 alpaca, 20 silk, and 10% yak. This is their yarn named Haya. I think I would go for ballerina, but also soil, I think. Oh, and we have more Titicaca here. The Venetian shade? Hello? So pretty. I have another cute cardigan to show you. It's the Soline cardigan by Morica Knit. This is a continuation of the summer trend of the multiple tie closures. This is undeniably so cute. The I-cord ties are decorative. The double knitting is so beautiful. I've yet to knit double knitting. I've never chosen a pattern that also happened to have double knitting, so I really want to learn that skill because I think it's a beautiful finish. What color do I want this? I've been really into magenta, so perhaps something like peony. What about denim? Oh, the opportunities are endless. Looking at the sample photos, it looks like the fabric is quite dense, which makes for a nice structured, almost jacket style cardigan. However, I think the design also works amazingly if you'd rather knit something a bit drapier. So you could go for a bit of a lighter weight yarn and then use whatever needle size helps you hit the 19 stitches. And then you'll have something a bit drapier and so beautiful and flowy. It just gives a lot of creative opportunities. Moving on to one of my favorite designers, Kutova Kika. I love her. Watch her videos, please. They're so good. Ever since she's released her wishbone sweater, I've just been in awe of it. It's an entirely twisted rib cabled sweater. No matter what your tension looks like, even if you're a bit of a beginner, if you do twisted rib, it'll look so neat. It's actually quite fascinating. However, it is a bit of a pain. I don't own this pattern, so I'm not sure if there's twisted pearls. Twisted knits are doable. You know, they're not ideal, but they're doable. Twisted pearls, however, those are quite a commitment. Please let me know in the comments if you've made this and Let us know your experience. I feel like this would be one of those pieces where when you cast off, you just feel so immensely proud of your work and the time and effort that you spent in this. I'm feeling a sage green for this one. Something like spring over here. But willow, oh, willow is cute. These are the two that I mean. It would look really cute in a light blue, but I feel like light blue washes me out. You know what? I think I would do it in olive. It even says in the description, the wishbone sweater is a true showstopper piece, and I've had people literally stop me in the street to ask me where the sweater is from. That's never happened to me. I feel like I would have to practice how I would respond. This, I made it. There is a video tutorial showing how to work the cables in the wishbone sweater. I love how she has so many tutorials on her channel. She has full-on tutorials for full-on pieces. I've made a garment of hers and there's a full video from start to finish. I love her for that so much. I was just touching up my hair and I remembered that I forgot to show you my work in progress, which is of a project that I'm making for the fall season. I will talk about it more in depth in my upcoming podcast, but I still thought I would show you it. So it's the Hirschon Bomber by Kit Couture. I got the whole yarn kit for it. I've had it since February. I first tried the sample on at the Beautiful Knitters Yarn Shop, fell in love, had to have it, have had it for many months, and now I finally started it, and it's been so much fun, so quick. We have the back panel. It's knitted bottom up, which isn't my absolute favorite, but you know, it's fine. There will be seaming, which is also not my favorite, but I've not gotten there yet. So for now, I only have good things to say. Then we have one sleeve and I'm knitting on the second sleeve. It's been so much fun working up the different colors. The front panels are intarsia work, which I've never done, but very excited to head on to that and learn yet another new skill. Unlocking loads of new skills lately. I'm also working on my first colorwork project right now, which I'm not going to show you because it's more wintry, so stay tuned. If you like wearing neutrals but you want to integrate more colors in your wardrobe, I think this is a really good piece to start with. Yes, it's got a million colors, but then it's also got the whole back panel in beige. A lot of the sleeve is also beige. You know, the ribbing is beige. And the reason I think it's so good for a beginner color wearer is because it doesn't limit you to only one color. The fact that there are so many colors in there makes it easier to style actually. Wear it with kind of whatever and it'll match with one of the colors that's on there. I love wearing it with a beige camisole, dark wash denim jeans, a red belt, hot pink socks, cream shoes with green, blue, and red accents. That's my outfit when I wear this one. I'm saying this because I've worn the Beautiful Knitters sample to Unravel Festival before, and that was my outfit. Okay, back onto our list. So I love Starcross Knits. I've recommended her patterns so many times. I think they are so, so special and truly one of a kind. So she made her Prima pullover off the shoulder. Reminds me of Regina George from Mean Girls. It's got the rib, it's got the bust shaping, it's got the long sleeves, very demure, very cutesy. It's got the rolled over off shoulder situation. It's got a thumb hole. Love the cut of the hem. It reminds me of a corset. I don't know what it is, but Tamara makes the most beautifully fitting garments and they're so feminine and dainty. This one hugs the body so beautifully and she's really good at translating that in her grading and making sure that it really looks flattering on all different types of bodies. She has 9 sizes, which is amazing. And the thumb holes, does that just not scream autumn fashion? I cannot deal. Something equally girly, but definitely different vibes, is the Knitting for Olive Madeline sweater. The first time I saw it on Instagram, I gasped. I specifically really enjoy Lay's project. I made Knitting for Olive's Clotilde sweater and I made it in 5 days. I was just so engaged, I couldn't put it down. So I'm really sure that something like this would honestly keep me obsessed. I love a good bell sleeve, you guys know. This lace is just so majestic, so girly and elegant. And what color would I make this in? The warm brown? Or maybe this, which I'm not sure how you pronounce it. Moule? I don't know. I'm not really sure. It's like this deep petroleum blue. Also this happiness color, which is like a fennel seed color. It's been a while that I've been on the lookout for something to wear at like an elegant dinner, and I found it. It's the Betty blouse by Claudia Quintanilla. Obviously it's knitted in red in the sample, so that clearly caught my eye. You see, it also says would fit in perfectly in any professional setting or dress it down and wear it casually, making it the perfect wardrobe staple. You know what? That's so true, because you could wear this with jeans, but then you can wear it with like some nice flowy, elegant trousers and a bit of a heel, which I never wear heels, but I'm just imagining, right? She uses 2 strands of mohair, but you could also substitute it with something a bit more appropriate if you're sensitive, maybe something like just a simple fingering merino, or you can use alpaca, whatever you know works with your skin, because it's slightly more tight fitting, especially around the arms. I swear I cannot get over this bow. It's a really special piece and I've never seen anything like it. It would look so beautiful in something like this, which is silver sky. It kind of, you know, mimics like a silvery fabric. Okay, so this one is so good. Now, I'm a dog person. I love every animal. I just grew up with a dog and I love cats as well. But when I'm in front of a cat, I can't tell if they're angry, if they like me. I just don't know what to do. I love cats, but I just don't know how to communicate with them very well. Let me know in the comments if you're a dog or a cat person. So I was scrolling on my Instagram. I found this vest, which as far as I'm aware, the pattern doesn't exist. I checked the designer's page on Ravelry. They are called Sangmi Lee, and they have a sock pattern with the same dog motif on it. I'm recommending the socks to you, or you patiently wait that they release the actual vest pattern. The second I saw that vest photo, I sent it to my mom and I said, Mom, isn't this the cutest thing you've ever seen? And then she said, Céline, can you believe when I was your age, I owned the exact same vest, but it had white dogs on it. So this is also written in my personal destiny that I should make this so I can match my mom when she was my age. If I don't get around to knitting the vest, trust me, I'll get to the socks. The socks are called Everyone Has a Dog But Me. I've said many times that I have bad case of second sock syndrome, but actually, I think I found the remedy. So currently, I'm working on my first collarwork project, and it is a pair of mittens. Now, mitten knitting is kind of like sock knitting, right? It's kind of the same thing. Like I'm knitting them on my sock needles. It's basically the same thing. Making the second mitten has been such a breeze. I'm thinking that maybe I should have just been doing collarwork socks all along. I just have bad second sock syndrome for vanilla socks and lace socks. I'm so happy. I've got another vest to show you. It's from one of my favorite designers, Rose Knitwear, who has just announced she'll be releasing a knitting pattern book, which I will never run so fast to buy a book. In fact, I should pre-order it. What am I doing? But her easy vest is something that has always stuck to me. Look at it. It's so simple, but that detail that the ribbing runs from shoulder to shoulder is so iconic to me. I think I would embrace the simplicity with this one and also knit it in a nude shade. Alice, the designer, is so good at picking shades for her designs. Her photos are also so editorial and beautiful, so you know, it really sells the fantasy. There's one thing that I appreciate about this vest so much, and it's how the arm ribbing is constructed. I'm going to use my typical Bliss vest as an example, but this is the case for basically every single vest that's constructed this way. Obviously, the ribbing is picked up at the armhole and just kind of knit in a tube. So as you wear this and as you wash this, the ribbing at the armpit sometimes flares out a bit too much and starts becoming a bit less flattering. So you may find yourself having to feed through some elastic to kind of contain it a bit and have it cinch back in. The construction on the Easy Vest avoids this issue because she doesn't just pick up the stitches at the armhole and then knit in a tube. But if you look in the photos, you can see that the base of the ribbing at the armpit actually adheres to the side of the body, so it's constructed differently. And I think that is incredible. Rose Knitwear is a genius. Another incredible vest by an equally amazing designer is the Olympe sweater vest by Le Pool. This you can make with your scraps, which I have been loving the idea of making a project with my yarn scraps. I feel like for a long time, I didn't have enough scraps. I didn't have enough leftovers that could work together to make a full garment, you know? I'm at a point now where I have enough yarn scraps and leftovers, and that's so exciting. I've been really good at digging into my yarn stash and using what I have for the projects that I want to make. I feel like I've developed a new passion for it, just a passion for using my yarn scraps. I'm so proud of myself. So yeah, I should totally make this. I love the yellow button band. Do have some yellow cotton that I could use for this, you know? Also from Le Pool, I wanted to show you the Disaster Top, which is this really pretty, tight-fitting, long-sleeved, cropped top that has these cute decorative holes down the middle, really lovely ruffled edges. You work the body, then the front of the yoke, then the back of the yoke, and then you sew the shoulders, and then you work the sleeves and the round separately and then sew them to the top. And then you add the ruffles. That's very fun. It's got 25 centimeters of negative ease. Oh my gosh, I had never seen a pattern with that amount of negative ease, but I guess that's what gives it the look. It's so cute, oh my gosh. For me, this design would be slightly daring because obviously it's got these holes down the middle. So I think that I would like to make it in like a cream color just to soften it up a bit and make it more me, you know? Okay, one time I saw this girl wearing a Long avec Anna's primrose slipover and I fell in love with it. Those little bow ties below the arm, I just can't deal. I just imagined myself going cherry picking with it on. I think it looks so good with a shirt. So I'm thinking a nice blue, like a cobalt blue, but also a pretty navy, so something like indigo. And it says it's the perfect little vest to wear over a pretty blouse, shirt, or dress. This is how you can still wear your somewhat summer dresses in autumn. Just layer it with this cute slip over. Another summer trend that I think should be transposed onto autumn is gingham. The petite knitter has created for our enjoyment the gingham pouch, which is so cute. I also think it's such a good quick gift knit if you're one of those responsible people that has already begun gift knitting for Christmas. Probably a really good scrap yarn project as well because you wouldn't need too much of it. I really recommend you check out the Petite Knitter if you haven't already. I'm going to show you some more of her designs. So she has the hedgy socks. I love how she switches the main and contrast colors for the 2 feet. They also have the Sikh socks with the acorns and the squirrels. And then she also has the foxtails socks, which are so fall. Speaking of colorwork, I found colorwork fingerless mittens by Marie Wallen. She's actually colorwork queen and her pieces are absolute insanity. They look very, very complicated just because she uses so many colors in her color work. A piece that looks like less of a mountain climb, it's her Wensley fingerless mittens. I think I would try and recreate the colorway that she's picked. These speak for themselves. There's not much I could say about them. Just look at them and you know everything you need to know. And they would be so much fun to make. I already know. I don't think she uses more than 2 shades per round. I might be wrong. If I'm right, this might be more doable than it looks. She also sells kits. Okay, next is the mohair boat neck top by Nels Knits. This I think went viral on Instagram some time ago because it is the most perfectly fitting top I've ever seen in my life with this off the shoulder boat neck situation. It hugs the body so perfectly. It's like second skin almost. I felt so inspired when I saw that for the first time. I'm not really sure why I've not made it, to be honest. I have no excuse. It's very ballerina fashion. I think I would knit it in black or baby pink to kind of follow that theme. The pattern includes the 2 options of knitting it with long sleeves or also with short sleeves that are basically like cap sleeves. You want to know the insane thing about this pattern? It's free on YouTube. You can watch the video right now and make it. There's a whole video tutorial for this top. We have arrived at the last one. I'm not sure how to pronounce the designer's name. Please let me know. I think it's Rileroof. I'm looking at the Kolovik cardigan, a full body length cardigan that goes down to the floor, basically, goes down to the ankles. It's one of my knitting dreams to knit something this long, either a dress or a cardigan. But this is beautiful because it has like an incorporated shawl collar. It's got the satin sleeves, the reverse stockinette stitch cuffs. It looks like a wearable blanket, which is honestly, I think, what everybody wants in their life. You can obviously treat it a little bit as a jacket as well. Gauge is 23 stitches, not the worst, but smallish. It would definitely be a labor of love. I can't even begin to imagine the joy that you would feel finishing something like this. I think it's such a bucket list item for so many people. Thinking what color I'd make this in is so much pressure. What color would you guys make it in? I really went crazy with that list. There were just too many gorgeous pieces that I found and I couldn't leave them out of the videos. So hopefully they've inspired you guys. Let me know which ones were your favorite. As always, let me know what you had on your wish list for this autumn. Of course, let me know what's on your needles. This is our little knitting club, so we must share what we're currently working on. If you're interested in following my creations more in real time, I'll leave my Instagram on the screen. And as always, I thank you so much for sticking till the end of the video, and I hope to see you in the next one.